Let's go over to black. We have Blood Reckoning. Return to a creature card from your graveyard to your hand. If the spell was kicked, return 2 instead. Yeah, this is great. All your black decks are probably going to want this effect, at least one copy of it, and blue is probably going to help you out by milling you. So this is probably great, you always play it. Expedition Skulker has Death Touch as long as you control another rogue. I generally hate this type of card. Especially this is conditional, so if you like block a big creature, they can kill your other rogue, and then you just like threw away your 2/2. You just chump block with your 2/2. So I'm on the fence on this one. I think if your deck is majority rogue, you play it. If it's not, you don't. I'm gonna think this is generally gonna not be played. Destroy target creature or an enchantment and opponent controls. You lose life. Yeah, you lose life equal to that permanent's converted mana cost. Yeah, I mean, you're gonna play it. You probably don't play the third copy of this. Kind of just depends. Like, if you have enough life gain, I can see totally supporting it. This card, like, ranges from, like, awesome to unplayable, just kind of depending. Yeah, I think if you're white-black, this card, you just play all of them, right? Because this card reminds me of the white-black card. I think it was Ravnica Allegiance, which is like a white-black instant, where it was destroy target creature, and you pay 5 life for sack a creature, right? Sack a creature enchantment. And you almost always pay 5 life for that. And yeah, Final Decree or whatever it's called. Yeah, and so that card, you always played it. Final Payment, yeah. So obviously this isn't an instant, so it makes it a little bit worse. Ghastly Gloom Hunter. Flying lifelink. If it was kicked, it enters battlefield with 2++1 counter. Yeah, this card's great. I think you would probably always play this. Oh, I guess it is not a member of your party? 6 mana is a lot. Double black is a lot. I'm gonna lean towards not playing this. I think if it was a rogue or something, I think you would probably always play this. I think I'm just gonna lean towards no. Now in the past, Healer's Hawk was a 1-mana 1/1 lifelink flyer, and it was literally the best card in the format. But that was a mentor format. This is not. So like you could stack. It was really easy to put a bunch of ++1 counters or a bunch of ways to pump it. And from what I've seen, it is not easy to permanently pump things in this set. So I would imagine this is probably a card you don't play in sealed. Exhibit A, Subtle Strike. Choose one or both. Dark creature gets -1/-1, or put a counter on target creature. This card's phenomenal. Always play it. This card's the reprint, and it was insane the first time. It was in Kaladesh, I think. This is like a 2.5 for 1, right? Because imagine if you attack with a pair of 3/3s and they block with a pair of 3/3s, right? So you save the left 3/3, you also save the right 3/3, and you get a counter left over. So it's like a ++1 counter is like half a card. Target creature you control. Wow, even black has to draw cards. Target creature you control gains indestructible until your turn. Draw a card if that creature has a counter on it. Yeah, I think you probably always play this. I guess it depends how many counters are in the format. This is an iffy. This is a halfy. I don't know how. I mean, none of the white cards and none of the blue cards were countered on things, right? I mean, I guess there were the rares. The rares in white did. And I guess there was that white griffin that did. This card is probably, I mean, if you have at least 3 targets for this that have ++1 counter, you always play it. I think even at 2, you probably play this too, because I think even just like 1 for 1, right? I send my 3/2 into your 3/2 or 3/3, and then I just play this, and my guy lives and yours doesn't. Probably good enough. Enters the battlefield. Each opponent loses X life, and you gain X life for X number of creatures in your party. Probably unplayable. I can imagine if you opened a party deck and you have 3 of these and you have like some raised deads, it'd be like Smitten's Swordmaster in the food format. I can totally imagine this card being similar to that one. And that was the card that had the adventure of like you drained them for each, well, I think it was each night you had. You drained them, and that was, if you just had enough of those, you just kill your opponent. So this is a halvesy. I'm gonna lean towards you're probably not gonna play that card. Vanish the Week. Destroy a turkey with power 3 or less. Yep, always play it. It's power 3 or less, not casting cost 3 or less. So you can hit cards that cost 4 and 5 mana really easily. It kills. I think it kills every blue creature in the format. I don't think there was a single blue card that didn't have power 3 or. I don't think there was a single 4. Oh no, there was a 3 blue uncommon. But I think otherwise it kills every card in the format, every blue card. Yeah, this card's great. Demonic Sky Dancer. Flash flying. Whenever it enters the battlefield, target opponent mills 2 cards. If it was 2 and a black, flash 2 and flyer, you would not play it. So the mills 2 cards has to matter. Or maybe the fact that it's a rogue has to matter. I'm gonna lean towards you're probably not gonna play this card. Mind Drain. Target opponent discards 2 cards, mills a card, and loses a life. You gain a life. Yeah, this card's great. Mind Rot has historically always been a great sealed card. And this card is probably strictly better. I like it. I don't know. You wouldn't always play it. It's conditional for sure. I mean, if your opponent... Here's the problem, though. If we think blue is going to be 2/3 to 3/4 of the players in the format, we don't want to play this card. Because if your opponent plays Divination, which is 2 and a blue, draw 2, and you play this, you got them losing into that one. It depends. Kind of depends on the format. Marauding High Priest. Marauding Blight Priest, whatever. Whenever you gain life, each opponent loses 1 life. Totally conditional. You'd probably need at least 4 or 5 ways to gain life in your deck. And you don't make them lose a life for each life you gain. It's just, if you gain 5 life, you make them lose 1. I don't know how it works if you have like a pair of 2/2 lifelinks and they attack, right? Do they lose 2 or 1? I'm actually not sure. You probably don't play that card. Yeah, I guess if you have the 3-mana 1/4 priest, you would probably play this card. Yeah. I think in white-black only. Yeah, it's pretty obvious looking at the card. It's a white-black only card. Agro Constrictor enters the battlefield with 2 counters on it. Each creature you control with the +1 has menace. I like it. I don't know how deep the +1 counter synergy thing goes. It's not a party member though. As far as whether you would play it, I think if you had if you have at least 3 other cards that have +1 counters, I think 3 is the baseline for these like +1 counter cards. Like Oblivion's Hunger is another one. So I think if you have 3 of them, you play it. If you don't, then don't. Gruul draws Mucklord. So in the past, there was a 3-mana 3/2, like I think it was in Kaladesh. 3-mana 3/2. When it died, put a counter on a creature you control, and that card was great. The problem with this duder is that it's not actually a rogue. I'm not convinced I would actually play this card because like a 2/3 is a lot worse than a 3/2. Was it Ravnica? That was a 3/1 though, wasn't it? Oh, it might have been a 3/2. I think you're a coin flip to play this card. It's definitely a filler card. You're not happy to play this? You're definitely not happy to play this card. So I'm going to put this in the not good pile. As long as an opponent has 8 or more cards in their graveyard, the mana Skitter Sneak gets +1/0 and has menace. So 4-mana 3/4 is already above rate. I think 4 toughness is the magic number. It just bricks everything that costs 3 or less. It's weird that the artwork is like this like horror thing in the front, but it's actually like the duder in the back. Is the Skitter Sneak. Yeah, I think this is a card you probably almost always play. And it's like a pretty amazing win condition if you can get there. 4/3. This is a card I imagine myself playing a lot and not being happy about it. It's filler. Blood Price. Look at the top 4 cards of your library. Put 2 of them into your hand and the rest in the bottom of your library in any order. These to life. I think this card is unplayable. In the previous format, the last time Dark Bargain was legal, I think it was unplayable and a lot of people played it. In Dominaria, it was good. But there was one previously that it was very bad in. And this card I think is significantly worse. It being a sorcery instead of an instant. It goes a card deeper, but I don't think that's worth it. Ikoria? Yeah. I think it was unplayable in Ikoria. Even though it's card advantage. White would... I mean, this is a card that like would be amazing in a white deck. Just because white can't draw cards. It would love to be able to draw a card. Deadly Alliance, yeah, obviously always play it. Card's great. If it was literally just 5 mana, destroy target creature, Infinite Planeswalker, you would play it, and it just like randomly costs less sometimes. Finishing Blow was already like a card. It's in the previous set. Whenever land enters the battlefield under your control, Dreadworm gains indestructible. Wow, this card's great. Yeah, whenever land enters the battlefield under your control, Dreadworm gains indestructible. Yeah, I love this type of card. Like landfall, draw card. Yeah, love it. I think this is the biggest common we've seen so far. You're right. There's the white landfall common that gets like +1/+1 counters and has vigilance. It could be bigger than this, but I think this is the biggest common we've had in the format. Enters the battlefield, to our creature getting an opponent controls gets -X/-X, or X number of creatures in your party. This card's great, always play it. It's gonna be -2/-2. It just reminds me of it was 4 red for a 6 mana 3/2 like ally that like dealt damage equal to your allies or something, and they're like with previous Zendikar. That card was great. Obviously that like, oh, the Catobleepus. Yeah, there's also Catobleepus. Yeah, this card's great. Always play it. Yeah, Mirasa Pyromancer. Yeah. So for black, it's kind of weird. Black's commons are not very good, weirdly enough. It has some like decent removal. It has like good endgame. It actually has really good endgame. It has like the best creatures we've seen yet. It's got a good removal, but it's like, its cards that cost, and I actually think this card's just bad, now that I think about it. It is lacking in the creature department really badly. It's lacking on cards that cost 3 or less. That's disappointing. I think cards like Expedition Skulker or Marauding High Blight Priest are cards you're gonna have to play if you play black and not be happy about it. Like the good black cards, I guess, are rogues. So it's possible that 2/2 Death Touch is good enough. Yeah, look, from what it looks like, black might be your secondary color.